Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here on the new NOFSRL channel. Of course, we had qualifying last week here. We're going to do it again here on the new combined channel with me and Marty, the old NRLOA channel. But we're here for qualifying in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series from Talladega, and the Tractor Supply 500 coming up tomorrow at noon Eastern Time. Going to be a fun race here from the Talladega Super Speedway, and at this point we're kind of just going for the race wins, as Nathan Baird comes into this race with a 103-point lead. He actually could clinch the championship tomorrow. If he leaves this race with a 141-point lead, he is the champion of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series season number 8. So he still hasn't clinched it yet, but there's a very good chance that he will end up doing so. We're here for Uncharted qualifying, top 2 fastest advance onto the race, alongside Trey Wright once again. And after that wild race at Bristol, how wild do you think the race is going to be tomorrow here from Talladega?
Well, it depends, because usually races here, there's usually just one big wreck, and then that's it. That takes a whole lot of people out of contention. So I'm predicting that early on, it's just going to be the same thing. There's going to be a pretty big wreck early on, take out quite a few contenders, and then there's just going to be the people that survive that wreck. But I'm looking to be... my money is going to be on Garrett Senor, because in the Craftsman Throwback Series a couple of races ago, John Arndt beat him to 20 wins. So Garrett Senor, he's going to be pretty up and motivated to get back to 20 wins on his resume and fight back for that all-time winningest driver on Napa Fan Trophy.
Yeah, we'll have to see how long John Arndt can hold it. Of course, John Arndt with the honor last Thursday. So just a little over a week ago, grabbed that race victory in the Volunteer 300 for his 20th career Napa Fan win, led flag to flag in that 60-lap race, but he had to earn it over Julius Anderson for that one. But you're right, Garrett Senor, he's been trying since November of 2017, and at this point, we're kind of just going for the race wins at this point, looking for Napa Fan wins, of course, and for Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victories. These guys just want to get a win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series to end the season off, heading into the Turkey Hill Truck Series coming up here in about 3 weeks, so we'll have to see who gets it done. Nobody's drafting right now, so that's very interesting. Of course, here at Talladega, you gotta draft with somebody to get a good lap time in. You see Colton right there in 98. He's not going to get any drafting help off of Zachary DeLow, so it looks like at this point it's just going to be whoever has the fastest car on the racetrack. Christian Russell might get a draft with Julio Caesar. But Caesar's going to drive by, so it's all going to be in the speed of the race car. Now, Colton might be able to close in on Zachary DeLello, get a draft on him, and if he can do that, he's definitely going to make it into the show. DeLello is fastest with Nick Smith. Only 4 guys have clocked in a fast time at this point. And number 62 of Christian Russell, the last driver to clock a time, and he's been doing very well in these qualifying sessions, however. I think he's been in 8 races so far this year, so done a pretty good job in the number 62 machine.
Yes, he has. And as you said, drafting, we might as well mention how effective the draft is here at Talladega. If you don't have a drafting partner or not in the big group, you're going nowhere. You're going to fall like a rock. Drafting is key to getting into the front. So as long as you have a drafting partner or are in said big pack, you should be able to have a good time and have a good chance to get to the front.
Well, there's somebody who had a good time. Zachary DeLello was nearly a second faster than the field. He was traveling off of Angel Oliveira, and that might put him into the show tomorrow. It's him along with Colton Yo, and I think Colton Yo got a bit of a draft as well. I don't think he's in the camera frame of Oliveira or DeLello quite yet, but DeLello is definitely going to make it in with that lap time. 45.209 ahead of what was the fastest time at a 46.154, nearly a second faster than the field when he clocked that time in. Oliveira has a good chance here. They're going to cross the line here. They'll be able to complete their lap times right here. So if Oliveira can stay behind DeLello, he's going to have a shot at getting to that top 2.
Both of these
and he just went there. Oliveira, second fastest, 45.589.
Yeah, tandem drafting, as I said earlier, the way tandem drafting works is basically the car sucks up to the behind of the car in front of it, and it goes faster, and then it effectively pushes the car via the vacuum of air between the two, and the faster they go along, very much faster than a car going single file. The more cars you get into that train, the faster the train rolls along.
Of course, you punch a big hole in the air. The car behind you does not have to punch that big hole in the air, and therefore does not have as much wind resistance and air resistance, meaning they can go faster. That's the basic science behind it, but those two guys, they figured that out pretty well. Olvera's actually now fastest, but DeLillo is still in, and I believe the time's going to run out on the next cycle. I think we're still going to have about 30 more seconds after the clock runs out here. And once this runs out, we will be done with our qualifying session for uncharted qualifying in the Tractor Supply 500. But Zachary DeLillo and Angel Olvera, nobody else is drafting at this point, so they're not going to match those times. It'll be DeLillo and Olvera, the uncharted drivers, advancing on to the second Talladega race of the season. Of course, when we were here back in the spring, that race was won by John Andrews. We actually did not have qualifying for that race, unlike this one, but today Olvera and DeLillo advance on. They're going to be in the big show for the Tractor Supply 500 here from Talladega. Let's go ahead and set the starting lineup for the 25th race of the season in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. So here we go. We're going to set the starting lineup for the Tractor Supply 500 from Talladega tomorrow. 25th race of the season. Last race was won by Sebastian Cuculon, who only led 3 laps in that Bristol race. Of course, leading 3 laps in a race like this from Talladega is a common thing, but at Bristol, not quite, of how difficult passing is. But Cuculon coming off of a lot of momentum, driving the number 13 machine. Where is he? I don't think he's come onto the pit lane quite yet. Looking for him there, and he's not there. But either way, we'll have to see who gets the pole position. Of course, it really doesn't matter that much where you start in the race like this, but you might want to start up front early on, because lots of times we see an early wreck here at Talladega, and if you're back in the field, you're going to be more likely involved in that wreck than you are if you're at the front of the field. So we'll have to see how it all shakes out once we get to the green flag. Of course, later on we got the Rockstar Pro Series race coming up, and they only have 24 drivers in that race, but even in that race we could see guys get wrecked out early on. But either way, you see all these guys coming out into the racetrack. You want a drafting partner in this one. Obviously, as we saw, the 2 guys who advanced on from uncharted qualifying, they were the number 46 of Angel Olvera and the 67 of Zachary DeLillo. They were the only 2 drivers to draft in that session. You need a drafting partner if you're going to get a good time here at Talladega.
Indeed, you do. I've got to say.
Jesse Turner here in the 77. Of course, yesterday we had the Craftsman Throwback Series race, and he got wrecked out on a cool-down lap crash and pretty much took him out of championship contention over there. It's quite unfortunate, but Turner looking for his first win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series since Bristol last year. We'll have to see what he can do. All these guys have a chance, including Mr. 20 himself, John Arndt in the 05. Of course, he did not win yesterday in the Craftsman Throwback Series race, but he won last week at Bristol in the Craftsman Throwback Series race. And I mentioned how in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series race, when he was battling for that win, at the time of us recording that Crystal Night race, I had yet to record that Craftsman Throwback Series race that he won at Bristol. But he is now a 20-time winner on Napa Fan. This guy wants to join him. Garrett Tenor, who's won this race before, back in season number 2. Wants to get his first Chick-fil-A Cup Series race victory in 3.5 years and his 20th career Napa Fan win. We'll have to see if Senor can do it. Of course, like you mentioned, Trey, he's your pick to win this weekend.
Indeed, he is. He has been trying to get win number 20 for over 2.5 years.
Not quite. And then win number 20 since November 2017, his first Chick-fil-A Cup Series win in 3.5 years. But I know we mixed those numbers around quite a bit. His last win on Napa Fan came at Armory Digital in the Turkey Hill Truck Series Season 4 back November 2017. So it's almost been 2 years since his last Napa Fan win. He's been at 19 since then. But like you mentioned, it's been a very long time for Garrett Tenor in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series, looking to finally break that losing streak. He's 6th fastest right now, with Ace Garcia the fastest guy in town here in Tractor Supply 500 qualifying.
As for the field, we see a lot of guys that are starting to get the tandem draft going, starting to practice for what they're going to do when the actual race starts.
Chase Garcia there, and hello, Garrett Zenor just went to the top of the board in the number 16. So that's looking pretty good right there for Zenor. I believe he was getting the draft of that pack ahead of him, and that put him in a pretty good position. But since then, McMillan has gone to the top of the board, and you just can't keep this guy out of the top, can you? Nathan Baird. I mean, I've checked the ratings. Trey can confirm with me that his ratings are completely equal of everybody else in this field. And yet he has a well over 100-point lead on the field. I just don't get it. Bartos second, Roger Ray, Fisher G, and now Nathan Stapleton and Garrett Zenor. I believe they might have been with each other right there, and they were these three guys. They are in a line, and they're closing in on this pack, and they all went really, really fast around this place, with Stapleton getting the best push, then Zenor and Matthew Phillips.
Yes, and if you guys remember last time we were at Talladega, Matthew Phillips kind of had a big impact on who had the race, was a lap down machine, and held up a couple packs, but he's looking for redemption. He's going to hook up with both Stapleton and Zenor, two veterans of the channel, if he can get a good time and get a pretty good finish this weekend at Talladega.
Right now, second fastest. He improved this time. It's actually tied with Garrett Zenor, but with Phillips being third in the points, Zenor being wherever he is in the points, is not up front, unfortunately. Phillips will break that tie with Garrett Zenor for that second position, but Stapleton still the fastest All-Star race winner from earlier this year. So, do you want him to return to your team next year? I know you do, but do you think he will?
Well, it depends, because as you were discussing, we might do single car teams next year, so
It is possible.
If we do, I would like him to rejoin my team. He hasn't had the best of luck this season, but he's been driving his heart out this entire season. He got the All-Star race win. Second year under his belt. He should be pretty good in his junior season of the Chick-fil-A Cup Series.
We'll have to see what happens next year. We're planning on a 22-race season next year, so going to be a shorter schedule, and it is starting to kind of get confirmed a little bit of a rumor right here. It's just starting right now that Michigan could hold the finale. Homestead's going to be moving up to a springtime date. It will end as the finale race, but it's looking possibly like the NOFSRL 500 could end the season next year. Still early in the talks of next season, but of course this season's pretty much done when it comes to the championship battle. That looking over the next season might not be a bad thing at this point. So we'll have to see what happens when we get to that point next year. But you know, the deals are starting to be made with certain tracks. Of course, certain tracks are not going to be returning, but I can guarantee you that Talladega will be returning. Of course, you cannot get rid of this classic. It's always a frantic race here when we come to the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. So much passing involved all around the racetrack. And Zachary Fitzwater looking to get his first win in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series in season number 8. He's a 9-time winner in this series. He's going for his 10th career Cup Series win. Of course, we had John Arndt hit 20 career Napa Fan wins. We've yet to have somebody hit 10 career Chick-fil-A Cup Series wins. Hey, Fitzwater could have a shot at that come tomorrow at noon Eastern Time. We'll just have to see. He's the fastest guy right now with the number 95 of Mark Davidson in second, Nathan Stapleton, Matthew Phillips, and Garrett Zenor, the top 5 here at Tractor Supply 500 qualifying.
It should be a very interesting race to see tomorrow. Quite a few milestones, as you said. Fitzy going for his 10th Chick-fil-A Cup Series win. Zenor trying to get 20 and retie the record with John Arndt. As you see a couple guys adjusting on pit road.
At this
and it's
point,
shaping up to be a fun one.
Yeah, at this point, I really don't see much change happening in the leaderboard. Of course, Alexander Rowe, winner at Rockingham not too long ago, is 42nd right now. I don't think he's gotten a drafting partner yet. It's almost like he didn't even get a time in yet because he's really, really slow compared to the rest of the field. He's just out there by himself. Not like Jimmy Johnson used to do, but like I mentioned, it really doesn't matter where you start for this race. I mean, as long as you just survive everything, you're good to go. Nathan Baird at this point, 8th fastest on the outside lane. Might not be a good position to start for a Talladega race on the outside lane, and you just never know. You could get involved in an accident. He could finish last, and if John Arndt, Matthew Phillips win tomorrow, then point, he might have to worry just a little bit, because saying Nathan Baird finishes last, John Art wins the race. If that happens, it's only 60 points around the gap that's going to be heading in the Darlington, and it could get interesting. We saw John Art pull a pretty sizable gap away from Andrew Ross last year in the Turkey Hill Truck Series to win the championship. John Art's the kind of guy that can do it. All-time winningest driver on Abafan, you know he's good. And we'll have to see what he can do starting 12th tomorrow. He's going to be really close to Nathan Baird tomorrow for the start of the race. So we'll just have to see what John Art ends up doing. But, you know, Arndt still has a chance here at a Chick-fil-A Cup Series championship. That is something he would definitely love to put on his resume. 20 career wins, a Turkey Hill Truck Series championship, Freedom 50 win, NRLA 500 win. It was actually his first career Napa fan win all the way back in the day. The 500th race on Napa fan was also his. He's done a lot here, and he wants the most significant championship on the channel. But he's got a lot of work to do to get to. If only 4 races left, he's got to gain at least 26 points on Nathan Baird in each of the next 4 races. It is possible, but it's very close to impossible.
Highly improbable that he will do it, but still, there is a chance. With John Art, he'll take that chance, especially when,
like I mentioned, you know, John Art's the guy that can do it. We'll have to see what he does in tomorrow's race, starting in 12th position. It looks like that is where he will start. I don't see any of these times changing here. These last few seconds of qualifying, Zachary Fitzwater with the pole position. Oh, wow.
Hold up.
Somebody around. Justin Roberts.
Justin Roberts.
And we can be thankful that this isn't real life, for one thing. And the drivers can be thankful that their time stands regardless of what happens in the qualifying session. Not that Alex in a row really had anything to be too proud about. He's last place anyway, but yeah, that's the one good thing about the races. They do actually try to slow down if there's a wreck. Not in practice. Zachary Fitzwater with the pole position. That is how they're going to line up for tomorrow's race, noon Eastern Time. Tractor Supply 500 from Talladega. One more tie between Andrew Ross and Silas Orta. And John Andrews with Diego Yepez also tied there as well. Those are the only 2 ties we have that we know for sure, or we don't know for sure who has the break, because Matthew Phillips we know is ahead of Garrison Orr in the points, so we don't have to really worry about that one. But top 10, that is how they're going to line up with Fitzwater, Mark Davidson, Nathan Stapleton, Matthew Phillips, Garrison Orr, Fisher G, Carter Friesen, Nathan Baird, Trey Bartow, Riley Spurley. Top 10 starting positions for Talladega. Going to be a fun one. The Tractor Supply 500. And it's kind of just a fun race at this point now. There still is kind of a bit of a championship battle going on. John Art kind of still a part of it. Matthew Phillips as well. But really at this point, it's just so far out that I don't really think even those guys are really going to be thinking about that. Everybody's just going to be going for the win. That's all that these guys are here for. It's almost like a special event at this point. Just go for the win. Because that's really all that matters at this point in the Chick-fil-A Cup Series. It's going to be fun to see who gets it done in the 38-lap race tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching. On behalf of Trey Wright, we'll be both in the booth for the call tomorrow. The Tractor Supply 500 from Talladega later on today. Rockstar Pro Series from here for the Alabama 80K. Going to be a fun one there, as they only have 2 races left to go in the championship. And a pretty close points battle over there. Only 1 point Justin Knight has on Patrick Zeich in the championship. So stick around and check that out coming on the Napa Fan channel later on today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Zachary Fitzwater on the pole. And we will see you guys later.